Hi there, Callie, Tiffany, and Caroline here. We're going to be talking to you about the Berlin Wall, when it was created, why, and what happened when it fell. So grab your notebook, your pencil, and get ready to write as we take you along the journey of the Berlin Wall. August 13th, 1961. The communist government of the German Democratic Republic began to build a barbed wire and concrete wall between East and West Berlin. The wall was made up of 66-mile concrete sections that were 3.6 meters high, with a further 41 miles of barbed wire fencing and more than 300 manned lookout towers. Primarily, this wall served as the objective of stemming mass defections from east to west. World War II came to an end while the pair of Allied peace conferences at Yalta and Potsdam determined the fate of Germany's territory. The land was split into 4 Allied occupation zones. The eastern part of the country went to the Soviet Union, while the western part went to the U.S., Great Britain, and France. The Soviets took the eastern half, while the other Allies took the west. The blockade and crisis of the Berlin Wall. This was an attempt by Joseph Stalin that prevented resources and supplies from reaching West Berlin. He was hoping to starve the people of Berlin into accepting Soviet leadership. However, due to the United States and a massive airlift of supplies going into Berlin, the Soviets ended the blockade on May 12, 1949. Now, before the wall was built and before it became impossible to get from East to West Berlin, Berliners on both sides could move fairly freely. They crossed the east and west border with no problem. They could cross for work, to find jobs, to shop, to go to the theater and watch movies. However, orders were given to the East German government to stop the flow of immigrants by closing its borders. This caused the wall to be built in no time. In just 2 weeks, the East German army, the police force, and the volunteered construction workers had built the wall that divided one side of the city from the other. This caused crossing the border to become a deadly task. The Berlin Wall. Yes, it did represent the fact that you could not cross the border going to East to West Berlin. However, it was also able to symbolize the fact that there was a lack of freedom under communism. Although the wall was built to prevent people from crossing the border, people still tried, and because of this, it resulted in at least 171 people found dead. Finally, we come to the fall of the wall. November 9th, 1989, marked the day when the Cold War began to thaw across Eastern Europe. The spokesperson for East Berlin's Communist Party announced midnight that day that citizens of GDR could freely cross the border. People from both sides of Berlin participated in the celebration by using hammers, picks, bulldozers, and cranes to knock down chunks of the wall. 1 year after the destruction of the Berlin Wall, we finally see, on October 3, 1990, the reunification of East and West Germany was made official. We hope that your brain is now filled with the knowledge dating all the way back to the time of the Berlin Wall and makes you aware of the impact it had on the people of East and West Berlin. We want you to see that this wall not only represented the division of the two sides, the East and West, but the control that communism had on the people and the lack of freedom that the people had in that time period. Thanks again for watching.
On the east, past the outer wall, is an area known as the Death Zone, where guards will shoot to kill. A signal fence here sends a silent alarm when touched. Next, tank traps before a terrible carpet of metal spikes, nicknamed Stalin's Lawn. Then, the wall as the West saw it, 3.6 meters tall, topped with a half pipe in places to make it scaling it almost impossible.